Would you agree there's lots of opportunity to increase your performance and tap into your potential? Excellent. Well, what I'd like to do now is to give you 5 ways, as I said before, that you can go away from here and implement immediately next time you have the opportunity to perform the way you present your ideas and to have greater influence and impact. So, the first tip for you is, what sort of state of mind do you create as you're about to present? What goes on between here for you? What's the story you tell yourself and other people? I'll tell you the story I hear mostly. Oh, I'm really nervous. I'm really, really nervous about this. I'm not a good presenter. I am not. No, definitely not. Oh, they all know a lot more about it than I do. Oh, I'm the junior. And they're more senior to me. That's the other story I get. Or the other is, oh, they're all younger and I can't relate to them. That's commonly the story. And I just go, how resourceful does that make you if you carry on this story about who you are and using thinking that just brings you down? Let me give you a very sharp illustration of this. Think for a moment, you're all going to love this. I'm not going to ask for your best romantic moment, because I'm sure you could easily go there. But what's a magic holiday moment you've had? Just think of one in your brain right now. Oh, you're all off there. I'm going to Phuket in October. That's where I'm going. Think of a magic holiday moment. Now, when you take yourself there, I can see it on your faces already. How are you feeling? Yeah? Now, you're not there. You're not on your holiday, are you? No. But I just shifted your thinking straight away that physiologically changed you. You can do that for yourself. Think of a really great song. There's a lady I work with, she's in the mining department, and she, in a resource company, I should say, and she's in the HR. And she has to do performance reviews with these great big blokes out on site. And when I was working with her and I talked to her, look, you know, a song can shift your state, a visual image can shift your state and your thinking. And she just immediately came to mind with this AC/DC. She's a blonde, I'm looking at you, Narelle, now, she's blonde like you, and she said, oh, this AC/DC number. Well, that's all she needed. She gets that song in her head and out she goes. And that might be all that you need. Yeah, it's a song if that works, a chant, a mantra, something. Now, if you say to yourself, I'm a really lousy presenter, I'm nervous, I'm just not good at that. If you start trying to sell yourself, oh, I'm a really good presenter, you know, the other voice in your head will go, yeah, right, you're so not. So choose language that works for you. Choose saying to yourself, I'm building my muscle. I'm well prepared. I'm giving this the best. The Nike, I'm just doing it. Think of something in your head that would work for you. Or the other thing that really works is a strong visual image that you look at it and you go, yeah. So think of a magic icon. I worked with another lady who was new to Australia, and she, long story short, she took up to the lectern a couple of times an image, a photograph she had of her in her prior job. And she'd just look at it before she started. Visual clue, straight away shifts her brain, and she's there. So there's a few ideas for you to have smarter thinking about you and how you present, to be more resourceful. Now the second one. Your power stance. Did you notice even the word, I went, yes. Power stance. So much of our message is visually communicated. I see women come up like this. They stand like that. Or their shoulders are drooped. Their hands are like this. As opposed to, yeah? You recognise that? Sorry. Yeah, so think about your stance, particularly this one. I see people do this a lot. If I present it to you like that, what's happening? Yeah, potentially, yeah, exactly. So it's very weak. So practice getting your hands, anybody who does Pilates, anything like that, it's get yourself centred. And it's ideal if you can keep your weight on both feet about your shoulder width so you can stand confidently, you can breathe well and get your power stance. And I'd say practice it in a mirror. Practice it. When I'm working with people in small groups, I go up to them and I go, yeah, come on, give me your power stance. And they go, oh, no, no. And then they get it. There's that instant. So go up close to somebody that is close to you and practice your power stance. Makes a difference. I worked with the beautiful boys from Hale last night, Hale School. They're youth patrons for Nelson Haven, these gorgeous 16-year-old guys, and working with them, they'd get up and they'd stand like this, and as soon as I'd say, get your power stance on, and the boys, they stand up like this, and their ability to influence and impact is transformed instantly. So I really encourage you to take that position. Okay, last one. The third one, sorry. Get it right. First 7 seconds or the first 3 minutes? Did you or did you not judge very strongly the first 3 minutes before when I started? Absolutely you did. What do you reckon's going on for your audience? They're making that same judgment. So be smart about your time and your effort and your energy. You've got so much time you can put into a presentation, and for some of us, you're doing them all the time. People are influenced by what they hear first. Like Narelle had the best position this morning to influence you, naturally, because she was first up. So if ever you've got a beauty parade, take first position. Even though you might be a bit nervous about it, it's the best position to get, because people will remember you first or last. The other thing is limited time. If you've got so much time to practice what you're going to do, what do you reckon you should practice a lot of? You start, so you can really nail it. The first few minutes, it's easy. Do it in front of a mirror. Children are great. I practiced with my children yesterday. They're a tad critical, I must say, so don't necessarily take everything on board that your children might say to you. You have children. The fourth tip. Where are you focused, particularly when you first start? Where's your attention? I would suggest that most people's attention when they first start is where? Da-da-da-da! Am I good enough? Do I look okay? Am I going to remember what I'm going to say? It's inwardly focused. The key thing to shifting your performance is to shift from being worried about you and being deeply, deeply concerned about every individual in your audience. I take an attitude of how can I serve? To best give value to the people in the room, and then I trust myself that I'm going to deliver it. A key way to help you do it is get really curious about the people in the room. Make sure you connect with individuals in the room while you're speaking. I throw tennis balls. I look over there, and then I look here, and then I look there, and I make sure that I connect with individuals in the room. That's what will help you increase your influence and impact by doing that. And lastly, this is a main one for women. Who's travelled overseas and heard an Australian in the distance speak? How do you feel when that happens? Do you just cringe? I do too. And the key thing I notice with women speaking and presenting is they are more inclined to have the upward inflection at the end of their sentence. Yeah? Familiar with what I mean? So this is a really important initiative, as opposed to this is a really important initiative. Notice the difference? So get your inflection going down at the end of the sentence, and that will make all the difference. Again, it takes some practice, and the best way to do it is find somebody that you communicate with a lot and get them to coach you. So I suggest to people who and ah a lot, get somebody around you, if they hear you and ah, to go pause every time you do it, because that's what you're meant to be doing, pausing. So you lower your inflection at the end of the sentence. So I've given you 5 tips to take away that you can immediately use when you go back to work this afternoon. So what are you going to do about it? You'll notice on your tables, there's this little chart, this form. What I'm going to invite you to do now is to write either in the middle or around the 4. This is so you have a positive seat at the table of influence. And you might choose to write in the middle or around the edge, what are the key takeaways for you? What are you specifically going to do differently as a result of what I've just spoken to you about? What are some actions? And then I'm going to encourage you at your workplace, the way that our brain works is typically, not everybody, but most of us, our brain, we have visual images to our left and we think to the future to our right. So if you want to think about how you're going to perform more effectively next time you present, put this chart up at your workplace onto your right. And that will be a visual reminder to you of what you're going to do differently so you can start to build your muscle. So I'm going to give you a minute to do that and then we're going to open up for questions. For those of you who would prefer it, feel free to natter to your friends while you're doing it. Some of us work more effectively if we communicate out loud. So feel free to write or feel free to chat as you do it. Just give you a minute to do it. Be specific, write smart actions that you're going to do to change your performance. Specific actions you're going to take. Do you have some specific actions? Another great way to use a tool like this or develop it further is when I'm running programs for this, I'll always have coloured pens. Our brains work magically with colour. So back at the workplace, or if you'd like another copy of those, just email me. I'm happy to send you another one. But I do encourage you to get some lovely coloured, I get those smelling, non-toxic smelling ones, and write in colour in big letters that you can see it. Yeah, no, there's no smell on those pages, but I should put it there, shouldn't I? Great, so let's just recap what are the key takeaways for you to have greater influence and impact next time that you have the opportunity to present. The first is use smarter thinking. Really resource yourself to lift yourself up to perform and absolutely capture your potential. The second is adopt that power stance. To really own the space when you first start presenting, take those 5-10 seconds that you need just to centre yourself and get that stance working for you. Thirdly, practice, craft, design well your opening. Start confidently and you will set yourself up for the best result possible. And then maintain your focus and attention on the other people in the room, away from yourself. Serve your audience and maintain that eye contact. And lastly, get that lowered inflection. It's a really great initiative. And that will make all the difference so that you can absolutely star and shine and develop your personal brand even further from the way that you present your ideas and your expertise. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you this morning.